In the tanker side, most common charter is the voyage charter, and that's just a voyage from A to B. Rotterdam, Barcelona. Or...
The topic that everyone wants to talk about, which is remuneration. Everyone will ask me about this question.
Market changes as well, so the one day you can go left and the next day the market goes right. You go right as well.
Welcome to this new episode, featuring the dynamic Riverlake team. This episode promises a deep dive into two crucial aspects of shipping: tanker chartering and river inland chartering. Our guests, Henk Mooij, Managing Director at Riverlake, and Michiel van der Hoeven, Shipbroker at Riverlake. They will bring their wealth of experience and deliver a masterclass in ship chartering. Hello everyone, welcome back to a new podcast episode. And today, in this episode, we are joined by two guests, so it's a pleasure to having you today. So we are joined by Henk and Michiel. So both of them work in the chartering and shipbroking aspect of the maritime industry. So maybe can you introduce yourself? We can start with Michiel.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Michiel. I've been working with Riverlake as shipbroker mainly on the inland tankers. Today actually marks my third year with the company. Before this, I had some experience, been working in the container industry, container logistics, actually, on the carrier side and also in freight forwarding side. And from there, to the brokering business.
That's interesting. And why did you decide to move to the chartering business?
It went a bit natural. I think logistics as a whole globally is still a people business, and yeah. Eventually, you create a network, and within my network, I've been asked to move here. I went into the discussion with the company, and everything sounded good. So I decided to give it a shot. And
how many years as a shipbroker?
3 years.
3 years. Okay.
3 years. Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What about you, Henk?
I'm in shipping since I left school many years ago. Started as a ship agent, then became an operator, ship operator, competitive broker. Been working for an owner as well. So changed a few companies in the meantime, and now over 40 years in shipping with Riverlake, being the MD, enjoying the broker life again.
Yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah, it is definitely.
Yeah. So I think you are the perfect profile to talk about chartering and shipbroking today. And I will ask you, I'm going to ask you the first question. Can you give us an overview of what is chartering, shipbroking? Because, people always mix both. Like, what is the difference between a charter broker, shipbroker, chartering, shipbroking? Can you maybe elaborate?
Yeah, it's a bit confusing, but normally the charterer is addressed as the cargo owner. So he has the cargo and needs to be transported from A to B. They have a ship owner, he owns the ship, and maybe he's in position to do this voyage from A to B. We're in between because there are many cargo owners, charters, and there are many ship owners as well. And we still can bring our experience to the table by getting the right ship to the right charterer. And then start negotiating the dates, the freight, and these kind of things.
Okay, so basically you have two sides. You have, of course, the ship owner side and the charterer. You work closely with both, or you are the intermediate between both.
Indeed, and we have to be good with all of them, right? We have to take the interest of a charterer and also of a ship owner.
Thank you.
In the past, you had two brokers, one protecting the interest of an owner and the other one of a charterer. But the market is getting smaller and smaller in respect of communication. So people know what to do, where to get things, and there's only one broker nowadays. Okay. Reducing the cost and also resulting in a lower freight rate because of the commissions involved.
Okay. Do you see during your journey as a shipbroker that we have now more and more shipbrokers, or it's decreasing a little bit?
I think the amount of shipbrokers is decreasing a bit. Although you see a few of those larger brokers, then again, having said that, you see also people leaving the larger ship brokers to start their own business.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, depending the part of the world we are located.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe can you explain a little bit the chartering process, how it works? because of course you have the S&P shipbroking, but in this podcast we are not talking about S&P because it's something different, but more about like chartering. How it works? What is the first process, step by step?
I think there are two different parts of this industry. That's the inland tank barging and the deep sea. And maybe you could give it a try now on give it a go on the
inland barging.
Yeah, definitely. So, it works a bit. It can work in different ways. Of course, there's a general path to follow if you're fixing a ship or a barge or whatever. It starts with the charterer, the cargo owner that is looking to move product from A to B. But there's some process before that, or of course from a broker's perspective. You're in contact with the charterer, discussing what needs he has on the transportation side. Okay. But you're also in contact with the owners. You're discussing with them which barges or vessels they have, where they are, where they're empty, in what product category, especially on tanker sides, where he's sailing is in with what the pre-cargoes are, which of course affects the next cargoes he can load.
Okay.
And once you have the full picture on the market and the charterer has a cargo, you will talk to the owners, see again which owners which barges, vessels are in position, are the most suitable to load the cargo. Especially inland barging, you also have some restrictions, of course, not only on the jetty but also on the draft if you go further inland, whether you need to go to the canals or on the Rhine. So there's
a bridge.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects that are that can impact your restrictions. And then as a broker, you try to gather as much as offers as possible and then you will discuss with the charterer which options are there, which might be the best for him, and from there on there's a negotiation on the freight and on the terms and everything in between there.
And you always provide to the charterer like a few options, and you try to select the best for you and for him as well. And you say that's the solution I have, or you try to, of course, be transparent or show everything.
Yeah, so we show everything, and I think so what you just said. In the past, you have charterers, brokers, and owners broker, and now there's only one broker, which is creating this transparency as well. We are completely independent. Of course, we are working together with charterer, but we also have a good relationship with the owners. So we are completely transparent in that, and we want to provide as many options as possible, because we are not in a position to tell for the charterer himself what is for him the best option. Can have a difference, or they can have a difference in pre-cargo or whatever, for example. And we can say, okay, this one is on freight the cheapest, so that's the best option. But maybe because of a pre-cargo or to other restrictions, another option is better for the charterer in that sense, in that moment, while still maybe a little bit higher on the freight or on the demurrage.
Okay.
So in that sense, we try to get as much options as possible.
Okay. Talking about your specialty in the inland barging, what is this kind of vessels? How it looks like? And is it like a dry bulk? Can you elaborate more about it?
Yeah. So we as Riverlake do mainly tankers, CP, mineral oils. Nowadays, you see a lot of bio cargoes coming into the market as well. Of course, you have HVO, FAME. And everything that is being categorized as FAME, such as RME, UCO, UCOME. This is what we do. There's, of course, within barging, a much broader aspect on the different type of vessels. You have the dry cargo for bulk. You have the project loads. Container cargoes, container barges are, of course, also a big market. And what we see is that all markets in barging are working a bit different. For the containers, there's a lot of shuttle services going on between the different terminals. And dry cargo is also working on a much different way than the tankers are.
Okay. And what did you notice? Because you work in inland barging, but you touched to some other specialties. On you say about the specificity of inland barging in comparison with other specialties?
Yeah, so we do also a little bit of dry bulk, and there's a big difference in terms already, but there's also a big difference in how the barges are being operated.
Okay.
I think from historical point of view, normally a barge would be owned by a family. They are sailing on the barge, and
By the way.
yeah, and then you see that in dry cargo still a lot. They're usually working from Monday to Friday, or sometimes in the weekends on Saturday. But they're also going home in the weekend sometimes. And what you see more on tanker side nowadays is that the barges are owned by bigger shipping lines who own multiple barges, which have a crew on board for mainly 14 days. And they're working either 24/7 or 18 times a day, but every day.
Okay.
For the time they're on board, and then after 2 weeks they go home and be substituted by another crew.
Yeah. But it's interesting because this inland barging like vessels. So as you said, like the captain and the family living on board own the vessel.
Yeah.
It's different from like a seagoing vessel. It's like a company who operate a fleet of vessel ship owners.
Yeah.
And in this case, is it like completely different when you are looking for ship owners? Like you are looking more for like one unit, one ship itself. You need to contact the owner of the ship, not the ship owner. Like
there's a big difference. In tanker side, you see more like on the seagoing side as well. Now that you have it's either you can call it the operator or a disciplined owner who is having their own fleet of barges, and that's either owned by them or by private owners or in a sort of joint venture between them. Yeah. So in that sense, for tanker sites, you don't need to call all the barges specifically, but you can call the disciplined owners. On dry cargo, there are a few bigger corporations which are more like a cooperative organizations, and the barges are connected to them, are under contract with them. Okay. And they have the contacts with the private owners, and so you don't necessarily have to call all the barges themselves. I think you would be quite busy if you need to do that.
For sure.
So thank
interesting. Yes, it's quite unique to have this expertise about barging inland.
It's quite a niche.
Yeah.
It's quite a big. Still, it's a small world, but still quite an active market.
Yeah, especially in the Netherlands, quite big about inland shipping. We have a lot of, I know the country want to avoid using trucks, and they want to replace it by inland shipping.
Yeah. So, big motorships going on in for area region, Germany as well.
Yeah, so interesting. And what can you say, Henk, about because you worked more in the seagoing vessel as well during your career?
More deep sea is Atlantic, the oceans. Coastal is more on what it says as well. Coastal is you get continent, Baltic, Med, but that's what I've been doing most of the career. Yes.
And did you see a big difference in comparison with inland? Or
it's a completely other world. Yeah, because those inland barging, most of them are owned by families, as we discussed earlier. Yeah. And the larger vessels, the coasters, are owned by companies. Yeah. So that's a huge difference. Then different ports, different markets. It's
interesting. And what can you say about the contracts? Because I know that in the shipbroking world we have a time charter, voyage charter, and bareboats, if I'm correct. Yeah. Can you elaborate on it? Which one is the most used one? I mean, in the tankering side.
In the tanker side, most common charter is the voyage charter, and that's just a voyage from A to B. Rotterdam, Barcelona, or Singapore to Paris, a voyage. Next to that, you have a time charter, and that's when the charter cargo owner is hiring a ship for a certain period. Okay. It could be as small as 7 days a week, but it could be half a year, maybe even 3 years, or even more, and sometimes ships are built on the request of a charter with the commitment to hire the ship for a certain period of time, which is 3, 5, 7 or 10 years, even more. Bareboats, you don't see that often because bareboat is just hiring the ship,
Yeah.
And you have to raise the insurance, the crew, or whatever. You leave it all with the charterer.
Okay.
And that's a bit of a risk as well, because what is the charterer doing during the charter where you don't have any control whatsoever, because there's not even your own crew who is on board,
Okay.
So that's a bit of a risk.
Okay. And you have taken care of the management of the vessel as well, technical management.
Yeah.
Okay. On in inland barging, Michel, do we have like most of the contract is it like voyage charter, or you have as well time charter?
Yeah, so you see three different types of contracts. Either time charter, you also see COA contract for affreightment, which is of course still just a voyage charter, but for a specific guarantee of a volume or voyages per month, per year. And the spot voyage charter is also still a very big market at the moment. I think for barging, mainly the time charter is if you take on a time charter, of course, it's quite an commitment you are agreeing to, and so you need to have some backing from the volume. You see that mainly the cargo, the product producers such as oil majors or others with refineries plants we are able to commit to such a time charter. The smaller trading houses, they would go for either a COA or a spot voyage charter, because they cannot commit to time charter, of course, to keep it running. Bareboats you don't really see either on barging.
Okay.
But the disciplined owners we were just talking about, you would see it more often over there, that they take on a bareboat from a private owner.
Okay. And I imagine the distance, like in terms for the voyage charter, are like less than the tanker seagoing vessels, for example.
Yeah. Of course, within ARA, basically everything is sailing for within the same day. We would be able to reach it. If you go onto the Rhine or onto the channels, then it can take 5 days, 7 days to reach a destination.
Okay. Great, quite interesting. Let's switch on another topic, which is challenges we have. Because, of course, in the maritime industry, you always have an issue. That's part of the industry.
Indeed.
So what are the biggest issues you have as a shipbrokers? You can talk for your specialties, but in general as well.
I think for a shipbroker there are some issues, but I think for the ship owner, tank barge owner, at least it's the crew, right? We hear that everywhere. It's more and more difficult to get crew on board of a chemical tanker or of a inland tanker barge. Next to that, if there is crew, they prefer to do a cruise barge, a cruise ship on the Rhine, rather than going to a tanker. So and the choice is there in the summer. So there's a lack of crew. It counts as well for the deep sea and the coastal. The crew is quite an issue nowadays. Next to that, it's also the bunkers, the pollution, the propulsion of the vessel. Do you need diesel, electric? You know, quite a few big issues pending nowadays.
Yeah.
And did you see, because we are living in 2024 and you have a lot of geopolitical issue, does it have an impact in the business?
It has an impact on our business.
Yeah.
Because sadly enough, because of the war in Ukraine, Russia, was resulting in a good market, a very firm market with high freight rates. As our earnings are done on the freight rates with the commission, our income went up a lot.
Yeah, by doing mainly tankers, of course, our business is mainly affiliated with the oil industry, which due to both Israel and Ukraine has changed globally. What we saw after the start of the war in Ukraine is that a lot of movements and lanes changed. What used to go eastbound now goes westbound somehow. The product is being sourced from other destinations, of course, especially here in ARA. A lot of the oil was coming out of Russia,
right? And
then the other eastern parts of the world, which are now coming by a vessel used to go through the Red Sea, and unfortunately now needs to be diverted differently as well.
Okay. So in this case, of course, it has impact.
Yeah.
But for every actor, stakeholders, ship owners, charter brokers as well, I imagine. Everyone is...
And the ship owner is enjoying it now because the freight rates are going up.
So now we can talk about another topic. So the topic that everyone wants to talk about, which is remuneration. Everyone will ask me about this question. What can you say about how it works in chartering, shipbroking?
It differs from company to company. Certain ways of getting paid. We have chosen as Riverlake for a monthly salary, which is sufficient enough to have a nice life. We work hard. We earn nice money. Some of the companies you get paid on the amount of business you do. Okay. But if you do it like that, then we believe that it doesn't benefit the team spirit.
Okay, I know.
Right? And I think what we do as a company is a team effort, which is more important to the individuals. So that's why we have chosen for a salary. The result of the company is very much important, and if it is a good result, bonuses will be paid.
Okay,
and that can vary on the result of the company next to your own performance as well.
Okay.
So you have to perform well. The results should be positive, and then you get rewarded. And we get rewarded quite well.
Okay, interesting. Yes, it's quite because some companies like the competitive brokers, most of them are based on commission. Brokers only get what the business they bring.
Yeah.
But I did many episodes with brokers, and every time it was like this commission system on the other first one. It's quite interesting, right? Yeah. Do you see something like something? Yeah, you said the team spirit.
Yeah.
All other benefits you have from have this fixed salary.
So, I think it's a good thing that we have it like this, because Mitch can be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and putting a lot of efforts into what he's doing. But because of the business he's doing, he's not making as much money as I may possibly do by selling a ship. By selling a ship, the commission will be insane.
Yeah.
But I can do this once a month, and he has to work 24/7.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it wouldn't be fair either. And unlike, he's putting much more effort into it. I have an easy life, and I may be better rewarded because it's would I say, a simple fact? Yeah, it is that the amounts are high,
Yeah, and in that sense, we are a small team, especially here in Rotterdam. And when you're working in a small team, you need to be able to rely on each other.
Exactly.
You don't want to have internal competition, because it doesn't make anyone better. If I'm outside having a meeting with a customer, I need to rely on my colleagues, or with vice versa. I need to rely on my colleague over here that they keep the business running while I'm not watching my phone or having a meal. Even right now, sitting here.
That's what you say. Yeah,
and in that sense, it works perfectly for us.
So you split the work. For example, if one of you want to take vacation, you're not taking like this, because brokers, when I talk with them, they're like, even during vacation, I'm like on my phone. So at least with this system, you can enjoy, you can sleep.
It's a bit part of the life. And I think it's like working in a bar. You need a certain mentality as well. And I think you, as well as I, even during the holidays, you watch your mobile phone. You just want to be updated and see what's going on.
Yeah, of course. You're always turned on,
Yeah.
But I think my wife will tell me if I would work while laying on the beach somewhere. And I think it's also important to sometimes just be turned off and spend some time with your families and your loved ones, of course.
Yeah.
And that's also the nice thing, the part with being able to rely on your colleagues, that you can turn off and have a trust that everything will be the same once you get back.
Yeah, there's no need to be nervous or stressed or whatsoever. We can rely on each other.
That is important. Yeah. I think we have the big lack of this on the profession of shipbroking. In companies, it's very sharky, I can say.
But that's what you get when you create internal competition. You don't want it to be turned off and give your contacts to someone else who do take it over from you, because you will maybe never get them back. Now,
And I've seen that it's very, even in the company, we have this competition between brokers. And it's like you create your name, it's not creating the name of the company, it's just individual. You know? So that's, it's depending how your opinion about it, but for some people it's not the best way.
But I know of even a company in Geneva, it is that they don't get paid any salary, but they get 60% of every deal they do.
Oh,
but then you're not working together with your colleagues because you're afraid that...
I would never turn myself off.
You hide your computer. No, that's true. Yeah. Let's talk about career progression, because shipbroking is not like maritime law. You have the associate, partner. It's more like you start as a shipbroker junior and then you finish as a shipbroker. So is it true? First of all, secondly, can you elaborate on it?
I think what I did was I followed the traditional path, being a ship agent or boarding clerk, and then started to work as an operator with a shipping company. And then there was a possibility to become a broker. I became a broker, worked for a ship owner, and that's the traditional way. You went also in logistics, but no, you had another education.
Yeah. So I studied hospitality management. So for me, it's completely different. That I even ended up in logistics.
As you do.
Yeah. In your 15, you need to choose something, and you who knows what you're gonna like once you go to work. I think it's also for us, at least in Rotterdam area, the benefit that we're in the middle of the logistics heart of Europe, of course. So it's quite easy if you live in Rotterdam to roll into logistics.
Yeah.
For me, it was just a coincidence that I had of being here. But no, indeed, there's not like many steps you can take. Probably, I think I started in operation as well when joining Riverlake, and from there on, it's a good start. I think, because you see the whole aspect. Especially if you have never been in the barging, in the brokering business, you start to see what we actually do, how it works. You get to see a lot of aspects from the business, also the challenges and the problems that can occur, be it the contamination of the product or whatever.
It's very interesting what you say, because I know many young people my age, there's I want to become a shipbroker, but maybe it's better to start as a ship operator, ship manager, to know it works, then maybe switch on the commercial side.
I think it's, of course, you want to jump in and do the better, nicer work. But in order to be able to succeed in the job, you need to know all the aspects of it. And it's just a learning pot. Even if you just come out of school, you might have the theoretical knowledge, but you miss the operational or the practical experience. And I think that's very important. And of course, you want to be a shipbroker. Want to go out have lunch with a customer. I don't know, fly to the other side of Europe to have a meeting. But in order you can have that meeting, but if you don't know what you need to talk about because you missed the practical experience, then you need to be very good in that sense if you want to succeed. So take your time and just learn.
Okay, very interesting.
Do you think the same by the way, Henk? I think if you have the details on the operations, you can succeed in brokerage a bit more, better. You can.
Yeah, and in that sense, there's not a lot of levels. You can follow, like you say, maritime law. You probably associate, junior, and become partner. Probably that's also the possible in shipbrokering, but aside from junior broker, and maybe senior broker, the options are limited. You probably retire as a broker as well. Or become somewhere manager, managing director, or whatever. But I think in our business, it's not necessarily about becoming a higher title or whatever. You create your own bigger network, and then you try from that, do better business, get you better get you better pay, better bonuses, and it doesn't mean that you don't grow in a title that you are not are stuck at the money you earn when you're 25 or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so in that sense you're growing personally and then on the background, but probably not so much in titles.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. That's good to know because young people are always think that you need to start only as a shipbroker to become a shipbroker. It's just not the case.
I would recommend. I'm thinking much better off just being a border clerk, which is a lovely job as well, then become an operator and then thereafter be a broker. And that's the right way to follow, you know.
I met this shipbroker. He started as a ship agent. And he's saying, so yeah, that's really interesting.
It's a natural path.
Right, indeed. And you've been out in the port. You've seen those ships. You know what a manifold is, and you know what you're talking about. Well, you're supposed to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because we are not seafarer. No, at least we need to have this technical background.
Exactly. That's right.
Okay, so let's talk about academic background. I mean, to become a shipbroker and work in chartering, do we need specific qualifications? What do you think about it?
It's I wouldn't say it's only personality driven, but very much personality driven it is. And next to that, if you have a university background or whatever, okay, makes you think that you are able to see it a bit better or a bit strategic. But it's more personality driven, right? Willing to work, willing to discover, willing to dare taking risks as well, more than anything else.
Right. Yeah, of course, and then you sit with different people on the table, be it the ship owners, but also with charterers. Not only with charterers, but also with traders. We are in the oil business, so we meet oil traders. If you're dry cargo, you meet other commodity traders or producers. And in that sense, of course, every conversation you have is a different conversation. An oil trader, there's some. You're discussing a different topic. You discuss the oil market. You don't need an academic background to discuss the oil market, but it helps if you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no,
and if you don't have the academic background, of course, it's much better to start in operations because then you learn how the market works, evolves, and that's also a bit part of the job of a broker. It's not only creating a network and discuss with people, but it's also try to stay ahead of the market. The market is changing by the minute, if not faster. So yeah, you're also constantly checking what's going on in the world. We just briefly discussed the multiple wars and what situations go on in the world right now. That all impacts. So you need to try to stay up to date on everything.
Yeah, that's very important. Yeah, to looking to research the market, to watch the news on this stuff.
Yeah.
But as a Riverlake, if you have like people like someone who has like background more in business, like for example an MBA or a Bachelor of Business, or someone who has like more like technical background, seafarer or I don't know, naval architect, are you going to consider more one profile instead of another one?
Not really.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, go ahead.
It depends on the need, of course. I think it's good for a company, especially for a company in the setup we have, that you have a bit of everything a mix, so that the academic person can ask technical questions from the technical person and the other way around, to be able to cope with the full aspect. So yeah, it's not necessarily that you would follow a certain background if you were hiring someone, depending on the needs within the team.
Okay, interesting. So at least we know that it's not only about the diploma and it's all personality, and you have definitely. Okay. And about the skills itself, like technical skills and soft skills, what is required?
What Mitch said earlier as well, you're talking so many people, you know, from the oil majors to traders to barge owners, agents and whatsoever. So you have to be able to meet all those levels and to talk to all of them in a sensible way. So I think social skills are very important. Next to the willingness to do the needed effort, if you have some technical background as well, that's a plus.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of both, you know, a bit of all.
Yeah, definitely is. It remains a very big people's business.
Yeah.
In that sense, You need to be a social person.
Okay.
But it's also a little bit more entrepreneurial. I think you need to see business opportunities, chase business opportunities, and of course you need to be willing to work, to explore indeed, and chase opportunities, jump into it, take risks sometimes. Of course, as an intermediate, your risk is limited to a waste of time and energy.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, still, it's a risk. You can also say safely, I stay between the lines, and that's it. But especially if you want to grow, if you want to create opportunities, then you need to be able to do that.
Interesting. Okay. So, of course, I want to ask you, each of you, what a day in your life at Riverlake. How it looks like as shipbroker. You wake up and then what you are going to do.
The thing is that I don't know whether that is the same with you, I guess, but you wake up, the moment you take a shower, you're thinking already about, this cargo could possibly do that ship and the other way around, or I have to do this, that, and the other. I think you should be very much into the business to understand, but it's driven, by interest, I would guess.
Yeah, but by interest and by the market.
Yeah, of course.
Because the market changes as well. So the one day you can go left, and the next day the market goes right. You go right as well.
Yeah, so
but that's it's very hard to say. Okay, I come in the morning and I'm gonna do this, and then this, and then I go home, because you can you can have a quiet morning and think, okay, today's a relaxed day. I go home early, and there's something changes and.
But there could be different days as well. Like, okay, you one day you do a extremely good deal and you're happy, you're very pleased to have done that deal, and that very same day you may miss a cargo as well, and then it's frustrating,
Yes.
So it's up and down all the time, and sometimes you have that at the same day, or you have to handle it as well.
Okay.
And we are able to do so, but it differs. Right.
Okay, so it's.
If you miss something, then it's you need to be able to let go of it as well.
And like spoil your evening or weekend because of missing fixture, but it hurts,
Yeah.
It's like a game you want to win.
For sure.
Yeah, it just shows that you're involved. Right?
Yeah. And the stupid thing is as well, if you do a nice business, you make some money for the company, you want to take the wife out for dinner, you go to a nice restaurant, and you pay from your own private account because you had such a good day and you're thinking, it's you stupid, but anyhow.
That's very common, like showing off in the restaurant with the customer. But let's talk a little bit about, so we have the charterer and the ship owner. How to find, because when we work on a company, most of you have database of all the charterer, the ship owner. But if you need to looking for new businesses opportunities, how it works, or is it cold calling? Is it?
We went to a conference in London earlier this week where we saw a lot of people. We attended parties, and you talk to people. And one of those guys was working for a trader, so you're trying to see what business he's doing and whether you can match his needs or. And so simple. It is as simple as that. Next to the fact that, of course, you have got the bigger trading houses like Trafigura, Mercuria, the major oil companies, Shell, BP. Yeah, okay, you can approach them as well. Those are the obvious I wouldn't say victims, but obvious.
But the bigger players in the market, you always,
Okay, and are very competitive as well because they've been worked by other brokers as well.
Of course, the bigger charterers, you try to stay in contact with everybody all the time. Try to have some market information as well, and that should lead eventually to maybe do some business. So you gather your market information, and you share this with both owners and with charterers. You are talking to the owners, how does your planning look like? Where do you see an open barge, open vessel? And you discuss that with the charterers and go back and forth. So eventually you create your network, and within your network you're constantly discussing who is having a need or whatever.
Okay.
If you want to grow the business, expand your network, then of course you might be cold calling Part of the business is also attending events.
Okay.
And there you meet new people, and then you attend to the network, and you stay in contact with them.
Okay, but did you have this day of expense, like you have to call, like for example, you have a charter looking for a ship, so you need to call new ship owners, say, hi, I have a customer, can we take a lunch, maybe, or to discuss about it? Is it something you can do, or most of the time it's like you need to build trust, and then you start making business?
It depends. But I think we're quite open and quite simple as well. You shouldn't be afraid of approaching people and just ask them, rather than knowing someone for many years. There's no need to have that kind of relationship. Everyone is just business driven, and then in addition to that, it becomes like, okay, I've got a good relationship with Mitch. I trust the guy. I leave the business with him.
Okay, yeah,
over the years, right?
All right. Okay.
I think for barging, it's such a niche market. We're already in contact with all the owners.
I must say,
and let's say we contact with them. You know what they are up to. Do they have all the barges sailing in lights? Do they have everything in distance? And depending on what cargo you might have, you're still calling them. You still send a requirement to them, but you probably know you're not getting an offer from them because it doesn't match at the time. In shipping, if the seagoing, it's probably different because there you might have a different charge where we didn't meet yet.
It's a bigger market, maybe.
It's different cargo, and
Okay, interesting. But I have a question now. It came this morning in my mind, and I asked you this morning the question. It's like, for Riverlake, as a shipbroking company, is it more important is it more complicated or more important to get the charterer, to have many contacts with charterer or ship owners?
I think most important is that you get the support of a charter.
Okay.
Depending on the market, in general, I would say for seagoing, most likely, on barging, most of the big larger periods of the year, there's an undercapacity of the market. In area on the Rhine, especially in the Rhine, you have fluctuating water levels. If water levels goes down, then there's a big undercapacity. In slow markets, there's overcapacity. The bottom line is, if you have charters on your side but no owners, you cannot do business.
Yeah, I'm the charter.
If you have the owners on your side and the charters, you still so you need to have both on your side.
But it's more complicated to find a charter. This is the golden rules. Like, if I have the charter, I'm the king. Is it like that, or is that really in this market right now?
I think it's still better off with the
charter.
With the support of a charter.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you need them both. You need all, but I think if you don't have to offer anything to the owner, he's not willing or able to work with you. So, and ships
able, not able.
If you have the cargo, then the owner is willing to work with you, but you need to have the cargo. But still, you can, being a broker, you still can. You should take care of both sides' interest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. You get the support from both sides as well in the future.
Yeah. So you need to build both to be quite balanced, by the way.
Yeah, of course. And we just talk about gaining market information, sharing market information, and you do that with both parties. Of course, with your charter issue, you can share what you see, but also from the owner, because both are active in the same market, so they both have benefits and interest in the information you're able to give them on the developments in the market.
Okay, so quite interesting, quite very interesting to know. I want to ask you now two last. You can elaborate on two last topics. So the knowledge needed for chartering. So we already talked about soft skills, but more about the technical knowledge. Do I need to know how a ship works, or because you said that it's better to start in operation, for example. But if I want to start as a shipbroker, but I have no clue about how we operate a ship, is it a big problem? I cannot make business, or it's just a plus?
It depends on your own personality and your intelligence, of course. But you can do without. of course. But you have to
be willing to learn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, you're like in the details. So if you have been on operations, yeah, you understand the loading and the discharge, the operations of the vessel. Yeah, it would be much better.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay. Okay. That's a good answer. I mean, it's clear. About for people who want to start in the industry, what kind of tips and advices can you give them?
Leave it to you.
It was your question.
Was it my question?
No.
No, yeah, I think we covered the bit quite already. You definitely. There's no need to have a maritime background. You need to be willing to learn. Don't want too fast. It's okay to come in on the operation level, and go from there if you want to. And also on operations, it's already a great job seeing a larger part of the business.
Okay.
No, yeah, it's just. You try to create a network. If you want to be a shipbroker, the best way to do it is by having a network.
Yeah. On the network of like
it doesn't matter really. Yeah. It's either charterers, owners, but also surveyors, terminals.
Okay, so very maritime network.
Yeah, it's a maritime network. I guess here in the area, but I guess everywhere in the world. In the larger logistics hubs, larger ports, there's tons of events, drinks, agencies that are having regular meetups and stuff. Yeah.
And because as a shipbroker, for example, do you deal with sometimes the amount of money? For example, you need to find a way because the shipowner don't want to store the money on, or I mean, and you need to find a solution with the maritime lawyer. Or this kind of scenario, is it happening sometimes? If you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we've been we've been involved or been advised as well on court cases. This is what you mean.
Yes, I mean, sometimes I heard some stories, like for example, you have the charterer and the ship owners. So the ship owners, for the charterer, need to pay the ship owners, right? But the ship owners, for a tax reason, don't want to get the money first, and you need to make it to find a solution to transfer it to another account.
No, yeah, well, I know it happens. Yeah, I know. Yes, indeed, and some people are benefiting from it as well, of course, being in between.
Yeah.
But having said that, no, we don't do that. We're not involved. We can't. You know.
I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad or good. I mean, saying that you try to accommodate the customers.
Yeah, indeed. And I know in the past it happened. And in the past, then I'm talking 35 years ago, but then you had Middle East charters working through one broker in London, and he was taking care of their freight payments. So he got the freight and then he paid the owner.
Okay, so it's something you can sometimes deal with if you...
Indeed.
Okay.
I don't think we ever done it.
No, and you don't want to take a position as a...
Yeah, correct. It's more responsibility and more stress maybe on,
Yeah, and it wastes independency, it wastes transparency as well.
Yeah, it's not your expertise.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can do it with the best of intentions, but it burns your reputation somehow, then, yeah.
Okay. So we're making the intermediate between charter, shipbroker, and fixing the ship, that's the most important in the job to know.
And of course you can accommodate in your helping in negotiations. Sometimes you have the merge discussions where two parts are not able to come out directly, or other issues with product contamination or whatever. And there you keep helping as a broker, of course, until everything is resolved.
Thank you. Okay. So quite thank you for this insight. I think we are in the end. So if you want to add something, it's the moment.
Well, the only thing I wanted to say is that we repeat it time after time. The urgency of the importance of having an operational background. Having said that, there are also brokers who are lacking operational background and are brilliant brokers.
Okay.
But the majority, I would say it's better to have the operational background.
Okay, but those brokers are very good commercial skills if they don't have background.
Yeah, or
to
remember say whatever, making the combination,
Yeah.
these kind of things.
Okay.
You cannot put anything on a hard line on.
No,
It's
There is
everybody's different.
Yeah, exactly. There is no rules. Depends your profile on your Okay.
Exactly.
Great. So thank you, both of you. It was very insightful. I'm sure we will have a lot of feedback.
okay.
But it's fair enough.
If we can be of help, just let us know.
Good. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you said.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and watching this episode. We are looking forward to bring you more insights from maritime professionals, experts, and students. Do not hesitate to follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Your support means a lot to us and helps us to bring you more content.